Welcome back, everybody, as we continue on with our Softball America's Big Ten Media Days. And I'm thrilled because we are bringing in somebody who I've known for a long time, I've been able to play against, but Michigan head coach Bonnie Tholl. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Well, Sydney, I'm excited that the softball season is just around the corner. A lot of great energy in the training room, and thanks so much for having us on. This is great for our sport.
I feel like I still get chills being able to say head coach and then your name. Obviously, after so many years of being alongside Carol Hutchins as her associate head coach, before that, being an assistant as well. Nobody knows Michigan softball quite like you. But even now, as you're entering your third season at the helm, what does this feel like for you every day walking into the office, knowing you're the head boss?
Well, look, this definitely is not about me. It's about Michigan. But I will tell you personally that I feel incredibly blessed, right? And blessed to be able to have the interaction with the student athletes that I have on our current team and people that have been in this program really almost since its inception, right? And I love the fact that I have relationships with almost every single one of the alums. Um, they love their program, they love their university, and that's what they've passed on to this current team, Team 48. And so it's fun. It's fun to share the stories and to be part of the legacy that the current team is adding to.
And when you think of Michigan softball, you do think of that legacy. And it was fun. We talked to UCLA before this, and you two are really the programs who have that honored legacy and the rich history. And I know how much you guys celebrate it. And for you, even to be able to watch alumni come back, can you even put into words how special Michigan softball is when you're playing there, but then for the lifetime you get after being a part of this program?
Well, it's the gift that keeps on giving, Sid, right? Because you don't just have relationships with those players for the 4 years that you've played with them or you coach them, but we are a legacy program. People come back and they talk about not just the games we won, but more importantly, the friendships they've made and the relationships they've had throughout the year. And it's fun because it's not just the connection of those who played on the same teams, it's connection from those who were on team 5 all the way up to those playing on team 37
Mhm.
and 45. And that's the fun part because we all feel connected to this sisterhood.
And I get excited even when you mentioned 48 and what's to come from that. But before we kind of turn our eyes to the team you have now, I want to bring you back to the moment last season when you guys clinched the Big Ten tournament championship game. And for this team specifically, I feel like their growth in the 2 years that you had them and to be able to hoist up that trophy with them, what was that moment like for you and the program?
Oh, it was special, right? And I say it again, it's special not just for those that played last year on Team 47, to be right there in the moment and actually do the work and make the pitches and execute the offense, but for all those who have built the legacy prior to them. But it was special. It was really special, and for our own upperclassmen to really recognize like, hey, this is for all the women that did the hard work prior to us. We are just standing on their shoulders. And so I look back at our storied history, 22 Big Ten titles, and that's not even counting the 11 Big Ten tournament titles, 13 Women's College World Series appearances. It's really something pretty special that I get to be a part of every day and that I get to share with the team every single day. But that moment was pretty special because you saw the belief that they had as we went through the 2024 season. And that was after having some questions in 2023. I mean, we went from a team, and this is just in the home run category.
Mhm.
In 2023, we hit 25 home runs. In 2024, we hit 63 home runs. And I'm excited what 2025 brings.
Because now you guys are able to bring back so many returners. But what do you think was really kind of the key that clicked with that group last year that taught them how to win? Because you guys had a 40 plus win season, the most you guys had, and like you talked about the previous 5 years. What was it about that group?
Well, I do, and I've learned this from Coach Hutch. You learn how to win by winning, and you have to go through those tough moments. And we persevered through it. And I told them at the beginning of the year that, um, if we're going to have any great success, that individually we each need to own our own success, and that included us in the coaching staff in what we did as well. And I think that was the biggest shift because those on our team were willing to take on the responsibility of their own success, which meant that they were mindful and intentional in their training, intentional with how we brought the group together and built the culture. And I said, culture is a verb. It's, to me, it's something that you do every single day. And it's just not something that arrives one day and then you have it forever. You have to actually work at it every single day. And I think that was the biggest difference. And once we learned how to win, went through those tough moments, learned how to win, then they recognized that this was something that it was an identity that they created and perpetuated throughout the season.
You go from having a younger group, as you just mentioned, that fostered into something really special. But now you're one of the teams who has the most returners in the country. So, talk about a flip of a switch for you. How much does that excite you that you're about to go into battle with so many women who have been there in the moment? They know how to handle those big stage opportunities.
Yeah, and that's our formula. Our formula is going to be people that get better year after year in our program, and we build that legacy on really teaching them what Michigan softball is all about, and obviously teaching them the finer points of the game and how to compete at this level, and changing with the times of the game and how the game has advanced. But you're right. We are really in our offensive lineup. We just graduated Kiki Thole in the 4 hole. Everybody else returns, and it's not just that everybody else returns, Sydney. It's that the sophomores have come back stronger and more confident in understanding the pace of the game, and the juniors that didn't have consistent playing time their first 2 years are now really understanding the speed of the game and really flexed their muscles, and they're contributing so much more physically. And so everybody kind of runs their own race, as we know, and it's kind of fun to watch the sophomores and juniors now be right in the thick of everything. And of course, you look to our senior class. We have 3 captains who are 3 4-year starters for us, and Ellie Sealer and Lauren Derkowski and Ella McVeigh, and all with really different personalities, but with the same value, and that is to pursue championships in Oklahoma City.
I love how you hinted at this off season, and it seems like it's been an incredible one and a very competitive one where each person is on their own journey getting better. But I want to talk about some of the new faces that you added in as well. And starting with just transfer, you bring in Reagan Bennett from South Carolina. And this is really a homecoming as well for her. Is you bring back the 2023 Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year. What is that like for you guys to be able to bring her back home to Michigan?
Well, we're thrilled. We're thrilled to have Regan, and she's a fireballer, right? Like, she's a big, strong kid that can do a lot of things. She can swing the bat. She'll be in the circle for us. But to be able to bring her back home, that's pretty special. And, we missed on her the first time, but I believe she is where she belongs. And having a chance to work under Coach Jen Brundage, the best pitching coach in the country, in my opinion. She's produced more All-American pitchers than anybody else at the school they've been at. And, those two working together, it's a great combination. And I can't wait to see the growth in Regan and what she does. And I like the fact that she comes every day willing to get better and just really be a sponge.
And on top of that, you mentioned how you only lost Kiki Thole from the lineup. You only lost 3 last season, but you've gained 7 first-year players. And just understanding what they're going to be able to do and bring to your team, their personalities. Can you kind of run through me what this freshman class has been like for you this fall, even?
Right. It's, we knew that they were a talented group coming in. But it's not until you get them on the practice field day in and day out that you really see their level of play and their high softball IQ and their athleticism. And I even think that our sport, when you're in a practice setting, you get a true appreciation of how athletic these women are. And speaking of our freshmen, we have power and speed, right? We have um, three outfielders that come in that understand how to play with a lot of speed, and they can mix power and speed together. And then we took Lauren Putz, who was in the outfield, and we've put her back in the infield, right? We need to find a way for her to be in the lineup every single day. She's somebody who's going to have both power and speed and really make an impact, along with a couple of our pitchers in the circle. And that's not even to talk about Andy Dirks, who comes with extreme power. And we're bringing her along so that she can be a consistent performer for us as we go through our season and for the next 3 years. And so, I think it's just a really good blend of talent and understanding on the ball field. And the nice thing is that they're not thrown right into the fire, although they're in intense practice with the upperclassmen who are really doing a nice job of leading them and showing them the really pace that we practice at, which will equate to really great confidence on game day.
And I'm glad you brought up Lauren Putz because I'm sure so many people recognize the last name. Obviously, comes from wonderful history of her mom being an incredibly talented ball player, two-time All-American, and then her genes within her father being the MLB All-Star he was. Just her knowledge, I'm sure, of the game, the IQ as well, of growing up in a household that speaks the game so well.
Right. It's an athletic household, of course. She has great DNA. Her mom, Kelsey, was a 4-year starter for us at second base. From the moment she got here, she was at the top of the lineup for us. And really, this is somebody who bleeds maize and blue. She is something, as good as we knew she was coming in. It's been fun because she's such a hard worker, and it speaks volumes to just her dedication to get better, and to be part of a group and be flexible, because she hasn't played the infield in years, and to be able to just move her back into the infield in without a hitch has been really fun to watch, because it's really showcases her athleticism. So it's fun. I've known Lauren and her twin sister since the day they were on this earth. And it's fun to just know that, I've been in her life forever, and she's been in Michigan's life forever. And I think that's kind of a really great combination.
And this group you have just has such a beautiful, unique blend with stories like that, with the returners that you have that so many have been Michigan fans for so long. And I feel like just embrace this Michigan culture. I know obviously it's going to be one weekend at a time and you guys are getting ready to open up, but what do you feel like this team can really accomplish this season?
Well, that's a great question, right? Like, we're not going to take anything for granted. But, of course, we have our goals are lofty as far as pursuing Oklahoma City and pursuing championships. And, that's part of our DNA. And now that we have a good portion of the women on the team have won a Big Ten tournament title. So they do have some of that championship DNA in them. And that is an absolute wonderful foundation to work off of. And we never want the great legacy of Michigan softball to ever be a burden on one of our players, but we want that to lift them up, and it certainly does. And so, what we want to do every single day is try to make ourselves a little bit better every single day. How can we understand the game a little bit better? How can we pick up our intensity a little bit better? And sometimes that is just more emotional growth than even physical growth. And so some days when we're aching and tired and feeling weak and exhausted, we're going to find a silver lining in that, and we're going to find a way. How did we get better today? And I think that's the way we're going to roll. And every day is an opportunity, and every day we get to play softball. Every day we get to, represent Michigan, and so that's how we're going to approach it.
You brought up championship DNA. The two players we're about to have next absolutely embody every part of that. And I would love to just know from coaching them yourselves, Lauren Derkowski, Maddie Erickson, who are about to join us. We've seen them all succeed on the field, but what is it like behind closed doors that you get to see them work day in and day out as their head coach?
Well, they're definitely two different type personalities, but that is what makes the world go round. And it makes a team come together, like understanding each other on all different kind of levels. But the fun part, I'll first talk about Maddie Erickson, is just somebody who had high hopes when she came in as a freshman, and then had spotty starts. Started early in her freshman year and then didn't get as many starts later on. And she went through some growing pains, and both physically and emotionally. But this is someone who will tell you, and she lives by this mantra, that she wants to be the most improved player every single year. And that speaks to her commitment to development. It speaks to how much she wants to understand the game and give back to the game. And you see that every single day. And she's a competitor, and that's the fun thing. And then Derkowski is probably, she's the center of everything we do here. And she's one of our tri-captains for a second year now. And there's a reason, right? It's because she can relate to everybody. This is somebody that can, relate to the most quiet kid on the team or the most outgoing one. And that is her secret sauce. That's what she can do. She can galvanize a group. And the nice thing is that she has the ball in her hand every single play of the game when she's in the circle. And so I know her teammates have great trust in her. Her coaching staff has great trust in her. But I think she only needs to just look around and see that she has quite the supporting cast, not just in her fellow pitchers, but in a really talented group behind her. And so it'll be really, really fun to watch her compete. This is what she likes to do best.
I love that. Well, how can you not want to talk to them after that introduction? Coach Bonnie Tholl, I thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this season. Hopefully we'll be seeing each other plenty this spring.
Absolutely. It's always great to see you, Sydney. Take care.
Thank you. And you can feel free to bring on the girls as you guys do a little magical chairs there.
Okay.
I love the hearing that they both did a good job. The nice reinforcements always help.
You can sit in the nice chair.
What a great teammate. You can sit in the nice chair. Hi, guys. How's it going?
Hi.
I love that we're sitting in the director of ops. For any of those who weren't in our conversation before, we had to do a little bit of a scene change, but you guys look great no matter the background, right?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us as well.
You're welcome. For you guys, I mean, I have loved watching you compete and grow these last few years. I got to talk about with Coach Tholl just specifically in your team and what you guys are able to accomplish last season. I felt like after coming back from that 2023 year, can you talk about individually, like what was the differences you guys made just personally and then as a team that really flipped the switch as you guys now became Big Ten tournament champions and go into this season?
I think that we just focus every single day on getting 1% better. And I mean, you take a 1 degree shift and after a mile, you're standing 90 feet away from where you were before. So I think that those little steps every single day, bringing intention to each practice, that just helps you improve over time.
Yeah, definitely agree. I know for me individually, I worked a lot on the mental game and just improving it in practice, in games, and taking a lot of the process that I have during practice and bringing it to the games. And I know that was also a lot of our focus last year was process based. So making sure we're in our process and just sticking with it when we're in those tough situations.
I mean, both of you, complete competitors on the field. And Lauren, I'll start with you. I mean, you're coming off of your best season yet, and you look at ERA, innings pitched, just the way you dominated, and I felt like elevated the play around every single buddy who is behind you or in front of you. For you, I want to know, where does that competitor come out? Like when you're on the mound, why do you love the game so much?
I think I've always been very competitive from a young age, no matter like what is going on. I always want to win. And just being out there, I think from the first moment that ball gets in my hand, it's a battle. And it's a battle that I go out there and I intend to win and I plan to win every single time. And just having that mentality to approach it as if no one can beat me, like I got this. And like I said before, trusting my process and trusting all the preparation that has got me there, it allows me to play free and have that competitive mindset when I'm out there.
And for Maddie, you know, Coach described it best of your just commitment to this program and developing year after year, the way you've worked on your craft, and you became such a clutch piece in the lineup last season. I want to know kind of through your journey as well in terms of growth, like what has made you stick with it and each year just getting a little bit more gritty as a ball player?
I would say just the love and respect I have for the game. And I mean, it just feels so great when you square up a ball that I think it's just that like that little bit of like a healthy addiction and obsession with like I want to just keep squaring up that ball. I want to keep like making those plays where it just like it feels awesome every single time that you just hit the first baseman in the chest. And I think just being able to like contribute to a team like this is just so like insane. Like having some awesome sharks like lead the way. Like truly, you just have to have a good team of suckerfish, and we'll all turn into sharks.
I love that. A team full of sharks. And that's honestly what you guys are. You look at one of the most returning lineups and rosters in the country, which that wasn't always the case for you guys. So how nice does it feel to kind of step on the battlefield with so many people that you played alongside for how long, and you've experienced these big moments, you've lived them with one another?
It's awesome. It's great to have so many people come back, but it honestly is so great having so many newcomers and being able to welcome them to Michigan softball and teach them what we're about and our culture. And they've been amazing so far. It's a really exciting group, and I think we're definitely excited as the returners to get on the field with them and get out there.
Yeah. Maddie, can you talk a little bit more about this freshman class? 7 new faces, also bringing in the transfer. Like, what has it been like meeting so many new personalities and just watching them gel within the team?
It's just so exciting to bring like another little layer and flavor to our team of like, okay, well, what can we get out of this person? What can we do here? Like coming in on Sundays when like the coaches aren't here and it's just all your like extra work. You open the door, you never know who you're going to find at what time. And it's just so cool. Like meeting these new kids, hearing what types of music they like to listen to while they're hitting, what they're working on, just everything.
And for you guys, Coach laughed and said you could not have any more polar opposite personalities, which I don't know what she's talking about. You guys seem the same here.
So I feel like we are so different, but me and Maddie were backsides for 2 years. Yeah. So we got to know each other so well, and I feel like we're the bestest of friends now. And I feel like that's how it is on our team, is like everyone gets so close to each other no matter how different you are outside of the game. It's the one thing that brings you together and you're able to bond about. And that's the beauty of softball, right? So
Absolutely. And I want to talk more about that. Talk to me about this team because you guys seem so close with each other. What do you guys love to do outside of the field? Like, how has team bonding been like this fall and winter?
I think that we definitely have like all of these differences, but like Dirk said, we like to bring it together to just create like a diverse, open community here. And I think that like we have some kids on the team that like to wake up at 5 every day, and we like to go like when we're on the road, we like to go out for coffee together before the game, and we're the first ones at breakfast and we talk together. And then there's the group that likes to sleep in, but they stay up late together and this and that. And I think that it's really cool that we're able to like all combine that at the end of the day and do some like maybe like earlier afternoon activities together and just like all hang out.
That is a perfect pairing.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, I feel like a lot of us just like to go get coffee or study or go to other athletic events and just like support the other teams here. Everyone likes to hang out at like our senior class. We have a house together, so everyone comes and hangs out at the house. So it's a lot of time off the field spent together, but we all love each other and that's what makes it fun.
So are you guys 5 a.m. or are you late night owls?
I'm 5 a.m.
5 a.m. I'm more of the late night. More of the late night.
You mentioned a senior house, and that's been brought up a few times on these calls. It's so special when you can have something like a softball house. That's such a great gathering spot for you guys. I want to know, what is this house like? How often are you guys hosting team events?
Yeah, so we've lived in the house now for 3 years, so since our sophomore year, and it's amazing. It's like literally been our home. We've made it our own. If you walk inside, like the decorations are just anything that you can think of is thrown up on the wall. And I feel like it's just become a home for everyone when they need someplace to go or just to hang out. Or even like if the game's on and we want to watch the football, like the away game, everyone will come over. And we call our house the Pit. That's like our nickname for it. So everyone's like, oh, we're going to the Pit. So it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun time.
I love it, the Pit. Okay, good to know. So if I'm ever in Ann Arbor, I'm going to ask where the Pit is so I could go.
Yep. And we're hoping it stays, well, it is staying in softball. So next year, a few other girls are taking it over. So it'll keep the softball house. So that's awesome.
I love that. You mentioned your senior class, and Coach Tholl was talking about how 3 of you have taken on the captain leadership. What does that mean for you to be able to consider yourself one of the captains and really having a mark on this program and this team?
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor to be voted a captain by the team and to know that people look up to you as a leader. It's a big responsibility, but something that I really cherish and I try to work towards every day at practice. Just being someone that people can go to, someone that people can trust on the field, off the field. And I feel like that's what the 3 of us have really tried to do this year so far and continue to do as we approach season and get going into games.
And as you guys look ahead, I mean, both upperclassmen now, it's just crazy how time flies by.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot left in season, and Maddie, you're going to be coming back for another year. But as you kind of make that transition to being the vets, it's like, what is the type of stamp you want to have on this program? What are the heights you guys want to bring Michigan softball to?
I mean, I think any softball team, any competitor is always going to say, we want to win OKC. We want to be there in June. We want to be there for Lou's birthday, our strength and conditioning coach. And we just want to make a memorable season. And I think that we can do that by playing each game as if it's the championship, because at the end of the day, every single pitch matters, every single out. Like, we just got to make sure that we get that 1 by 1 by 1, and it will be 21 for each game.
Yeah, just echoing what Maddie said. I feel like she did a great job of saying exactly what our goals are. So just going out there and treating every game like it's a championship and doing the little things right from the get-go. And I think that'll lead us to where we want to be late in the season.
And for you guys, as we wrap up, Michigan softball has obviously been just such a historic program for so many years, and familiar faces who have led it and championships that have been won there year after year. What has this journey meant like for you guys to be able to wear Michigan across your chest when you step on the field?
Man, wearing Michigan across your chest is just such an honor. Like, just being able to represent those 8 letters and like being able to feel just like stepping out onto the field, knowing that all of these people before have like come to this field and built it brick by brick. Like, that is just incredible. And to know that we have so many amazing alumni and fans that like support us through this journey and growing as a person. And I mean, it doesn't really matter about your number on your back anymore. It's really just about the letters on the front.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I feel like I always watched Michigan softball. So now reflecting on it, being a senior and knowing that like I could be an inspiration for some little girls that are playing softball and wanting to play for Michigan one day it's incredible to think about. And I mean, this university has given me so many opportunities, both athletic and academic, and just to meet my people and find somewhere that is a home away from home. It's pretty special. So definitely crazy to think about having to leave after this year, but it's truly been an amazing journey.
Well, I know I speak for everybody that I can't wait to watch you guys take the field again wearing the 8 letters. You guys are always so much fun to watch, your entire team, and I can't wait to see what you do this spring.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to spend with me. You can watch Michigan softball as the rest of college softball opens up next week. But in the meantime, if you missed any minutes from this interview, you could go back on Softball America's YouTube page and then stick with us because we still have more teams today. We have Rutgers coming up in about 25 minutes, and then we'll finish off with Oregon for the first time joining the Big Ten. But as of everything, this has been